What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, today, this war was my absolute worst alliance war ever. This is war number 5, and I got assigned this path, and I got assigned to use Ghost, Sorcerer, and Wasp. Reason being, these paths are based on gamble. It's not a 100% chance I will win each fight, but these paths are gamble based. That's the thing. Everything is based on a gamble. So that's what it is. So I boost up here. I use the combat regen boost, and this fight took a long time. This fight took a while. Out of this whole first half of the war, this fight took a while. Um, But as you can see, I have quite a bit of fights this war with Ghost. I think I have 5 or 6 fights as Ghost here, with Ghost, and I think 2 fights with Sorcerer. Um, Wasp is just there for synergy. And there's a lot of things I could have done differently this war, like timing that right. But this was definitely the only time that this path was actually very difficult for me. And my battle group leader was like, he already knew I was gonna die pretty much quite a bit on this path. Um, but with my team setup, I was basically the only one who was mainly prepared. But as you can see, that was my first step of this war fight, of this war. And there's many more to come, don't worry. Um, but because let's just say, a lot just happened. But anyway, I'm trying my best here. I'm trying not to die again in this fight. And I'm just trying to beat out the L2. I mean L1 couldn't, so I activate the L3, trying to do as much damage as I possibly can to her. Goes for a heavy attack. Now she has the L2, so I'm just trying to get out the L2, and she's not throwing it. And I'm like, dude, why are you not throwing it? She's just being very passive. So what I try to do here is that I try to hit into her block in a bit, just trying to see where I do that. But yeah, I'm just still evading. Now I hit into her block, and she's still not throwing it. She's just being very defensive. Now she finally throws her L2. I'm like, okay. So I'm going here for full 5-hit combos. I'm just trying to solo wait for that glancing to be gone, and she activates L1. So I'm like, okay, yeah, glancing's not gonna get gone. It's not gonna go away. So I activate L3 here at 2 Furies, so it's gonna do at least a decent amount of damage. And we're doing a lot of damage here. And as you can basically see, that's the heavy attack. But as you can basically see, this whole path is built up on gamble. That's literally it. This whole path is a gamble. These 2 paths in Path 9 is a full gamble. So I use Ghost here now because Ghost is the only one who's able to really do something here. So we have hazard shifts, so I'm just trying to get those incinerates on me as fast as possible. Doing very well here with the incinerates. I go for an L2, trying to do as much damage as possible. Hopefully he dies, and he does. Now the next fight was the trickiest fight. This Nick Fury. Now I versed a lot of Nick Fury with Sorcerer. I've always versed a lot of Nick Fury as Sorcerer. She is like, out of most of my champions, she's like top 5 to where I would use, her against Nick Fury. You know, my number one would probably be Apocalypse, then Cable, then Colossus, then her. You know, her, or is it like Sunspot? Because of that regeneration on block. All the other champions have like big damage and great block. She has life sustainability. That's the reason why she's in my top 5 against Nick Fury. So, Apocalypse was in a Wizard Alliance quest, I'm pretty sure at the time, or I had him in a quest. Sunspot, I haven't really used Sunspot in a while, so I didn't really feel comfortable in this fight against, with Sunspot. But as you see, a drop input right there. That's one drop input, and you're gonna see many more in this fight. But I'm trying to race to the L3. As you can see, that passive power gain. I get up to the L3. So I try my best to not use the skip L3, but I do use it once in this fight. I think I used it next L3. And if Kabam, if you're watching this, I did not mean to press that button. I did not mean to press it. Yeah, so I'm very sorry. I go for the L1 here. Just trying to push him over a bar. And we dash back, we got that off. And right now it's a minute and 32 left. A minute and 30 left. So I'm like, okay. I've got this, This fight is pretty easy. I try to swap it, try to go for a massive L2. Could not. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll go for a massive L3 instead. So I have the L3, I use it, and this is where I accidentally hit the skip button. Yep. But as you can see, did massive damage. I was like, okay, I'm trying my best to not use the L3, the skip button for the L3 again. But as you can see, fight's going decently with health-wise. Just trying my best. And just praying for not another dropped input, But now I'm going full in, going for that L2. 28%. Now we're cooking here, right? So I was like, okay, I'm almost done with his first phase. At this time, I was like, okay, he has 2 phases. I'm almost done with his first phase. If I get timed out, I want it to at least be in his second phase. That is my goal. So when I hit his second phase, that's what I want the timeout. So I go for an intercept, but I fail it. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I drop the L2. I go for the intercept. I got it this time. I drop the L1. 5 seconds left. I was like, okay, that's it. 41%. I get timed out. I was like, you know what? That's 13%. That's not a death set, so I'm happy. But wait till you see the chaos that unfolds next. And oh my god, did I hate Kabam that day. Oh my, I did not want to touch the game. So I was like, okay, you know what? This is fine. I got this. How wrong was I? So I go for a parry here, playing this very carefully, just trying to get into the second phase, and just to get the fight over with, done with, as I should. So I bring him up to 10. Playing this very, very safely. He's almost down to his next phase. Now he's at his next phase. So I was like, okay, drop input right there. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? So I res her up. I was like, okay, please don't drop my input again. Honestly. Because, that's 3 deaths this war, right? That's 3 deaths. Right now, right? I was like, please, don't drop my input. Don't drop it. Don't drop it. That backup recovery is actually really helping me out here. I was like, okay, I got the block. I dropped the L1. I got the L1 again, right? This time I'm really focused. Got the block there. Just trying to bring him up to L2. So now he's in his second phase, 23%. I tried to block there. Input dropped again. I was like, dude, that's 3 deaths this war. No. That's 4 deaths this war. So you know what? I was like, okay, I could do this with Ghost. I can finish this off with Ghost, right? I could do this with Ghost. I was like, I'm debating it. I'm really debating it. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I can do this off with Ghost. You know, he just bypasses miss, you know, but he doesn't bypass, my L2, right? So I go for a parry there, input drop. Okay, that's fine. Being a very passive AI, and he drops his L1. Try to dodge it. I'm like, okay, that's 5 deaths. I'm like, okay, for the rest of this war, I cannot die. This was my most deaths ever in Alliance War. I'm over here like, for the rest of this war, I cannot die. I cannot. So I am actually trying here. Like, I am really focused, not trying to die in this war at all for the rest of the war. I have my regen on block active. I nullified his fury. Right now I'm healing it for a really good amount. I'm stealing some of the power from the blessing, and I finished the fight. I was like, okay, thank God. I just need a break from this game. I was done. Someone took out the Black Widow. I was like, thank God. But now I have a Nightcrawler on this path. I was like, okay, let's focus up. Let's get this done. War almost over. So war is almost over. And this is Stun Reflection. So I was like, okay, I have to, once I get the blessing on, I'm fine. Like, that's my goal. Once I get the blessing on him, he's dead. So now I'm able to parry. Now I'm just trying to go to the blessing. Now I have the blessing. I dropped the L2. I was like, okay, it is sick. That's fine. He parries me. I'm like, I'm not dying this war. There's no way I'm dying again this war. So I dropped the L2. I told you, I'm really focusing here. So now, he cannot evade. That's it. This is the game. That's it. This is the game. So I'm just trying to keep up that blessing. That's it. That's literally it. As you can see, he's down to 47%. Really clutching up here. Trying not to parry. If I parry, I'm dead. That's what's in my head. If I parry, I'm dead. So now parry's the parry thing is gone right now. I see the slow dropping. I was like, okay, time to activate L1. L1 is active. And I know I could have definitely used Ghost in this fight, but I have Ghost for another fight. And then the other recording did not save, sadly. So I was like, okay. I can't do anything about the other recording. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but the other fight was against Guardian. But I'll just tell you the outcome of that fight. I won that fight, got no deaths on that fight against Guardian. Now against this Namor, and I know how Namor is. Again, this fight is such a gamble, but as you can see, he's taking no damage when it comes to crits, and I was like, okay, yeah, I forgot when it's like 200, he just gonna reflect damage, like, quite a lot, so this is a really good spot. As you can see, I'm about to die, so I was like, oh no, like, this is a bad spot. Just, like, again, we know With Ghost, this is a gamble. So I was like, okay, I have to gamble this, but I didn't need the L2. Fight's now done. I move up, and again, with the Guardian fight, I beat that fight. Nothing bad. I just activated the L3, and the fight was over. And shockingly, we did end up winning this war. I'm very, very, very happy that we did. But it still does not excuse the fact that there were so many drop inputs in that war. Dude, that was by far my worst war yet. But shockingly, we actually won that war. So thank you guys for watching. Take care and have an absolutely amazing day.